Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Yoga with Pooja Shah. In my today's video, we'll be practicing an advanced back bend known as the Ekpad Raj Kapotasana. I know the name is pretty lengthy. You can just remember it by the pigeon pose. It's an advanced posture, but I'll be breaking it up into 3 different variations so you can safely choose whichever variation that suits you. Now this posture is an advanced hip opening posture. As it is said, we store a lot of emotions in our hips. Now this asana will help you release all that stress and emotions which have been unattended for long years. Now there are certain limitations before we begin with the process of the asana. Now those who have been having knee issues or any knee surgeries, say ligament tear or knee replacement, any related to your knee, will try and not do this. Keep it away for a while. After you are better, and then you can practice. Now, benefits of these asanas, as I just said, if you are one who is dealing with emotional trauma, with depression or low confidence or something, back bending and hip opening postures are the right thing for you. Alright. Now, before we move on to this posture, I would like to make few things very clear that we need to warm up ourselves very nicely before we get into this. Say around 8 to 10 rounds of Surya Namaskars would be good. I have my video of Surya Namaskar in my channel, you can check it out. 8 to rounds of Surya Namaskar along with these drills will then make you sure that you are now prepared to get into the final posture. Alright, so having said that, we'll begin. Now I am already sitting in Vajrasana. This posture is very good for your thighs. Now the one which we are going to practice today, pigeon pose, it involves spine, your thighs and your hips. So we mainly work on these areas today so that you are prepared for the final posture. Now after 8 to 10 rounds of Surya Namaskar, you could try to sit in Vajrasana for around 1 or 2 minutes. Now, if in case you are not able to sit, if you are able to sit in Vajrasana and do not feel any much stress over here, you could just move a little bit deeper in Vajrasana. I'll show you how. Now, you need to keep your knees together, push up and separate your heels. Separate your heels and slowly push down on the floor. Now, this would be possible only if your thighs are relaxed, if your thighs are open. If you are someone who has tight thighs, will not be able to do this, but never mind. A good warm-up with sitting in Vajrasana for some time will help you release the stress in your thighs. Alright, so I think we'll be sitting over here for next 5 to 10 breaths. Meanwhile, we can discuss what are we supposed to do in the following video. Yes. So after this, we'll be moving on to our spine warm-up. Now the spine is not majorly involved, but yes, it does play a role in the final posture where the first 2 variations are there. The basic and the intermediate does not contain much involvement of the spine, but the final posture does involve the spine. So we'll work on our spine, on our hips and on our thighs. Alright. So now we'll move on to the first one, that is warming up the spine, and come up on all fours, the tabletop posture. Now when I say the tabletop posture, it means you've spread your fingers wide and you are on your knees and your palms. Check for yourself whether this posture is correct or no. If you are someone who've placed your palms like this or like this, both are not the way to do. How will you know if you are in the correct tabletop posture? Your shoulder above your wrist and your hips above your thighs. Alright. Now once you are here, we'll move to relax our spine and contract the spine. That is the cat-cow posture. So inhaling, you will look up, arch your back, push your hips out. Exhaling, go inside, tuck your chin to your chest. Inhaling, move up. Exhaling, go inside. Again inhaling, raise your chin up, arch your back, push your hips outside. Exhale, chin inside. 2 more rounds. Inhaling. This is a very basic warm-up for your spine. Remember, all the postures which involve your spine, make sure you do a few warm-ups like this that help you relax your spine. Alright. Now, the next one will be for our hips. So what you do over here is stay in the tabletop posture. Raise your right knee. Raise your right knee and open towards the side. Come back. Doing this will help you release the stress from the side of your hips. So you will not put your knee down again. Open, come back. I am not touching my knee to the mat. Open your knee and back. 2 more times. Open and back. Open and back. Now I will be doing it same from the left side. I don't have space here, so I will turn around just to make sure that you get the right view. Now again, from the left side, you will raise your left leg, open your knee and back. Open and back. This will work on the side of your hips. Alright. 3 more times. 3, back, 2, back, 1, back. Now slowly down. Working on your hips is most essential because this is a deep hip opening posture. Now the next one that we are going to do is my personal favorite hip releasing hip opener. Now what you do over here is place your right foot on your left knee exactly above your knee and the other knee exactly above your foot. So your posture looks somewhat like this from the front, where your knee and your foot are alternatively on top of each other. Alright. Now what you do is place your hands in the front and walk forward. As you walk forward, as much as you can, you feel an opening in the hip which the leg is up. If your right leg is up, you will feel a stretch in your right hip. Alright. Try reaching in the front of your mat with your palms as much as you can. Stay there for around 6 breaths. Feel your hips over here. Try to feel that stretch, that pull, and focus on those areas where you are exactly feeling the pull. Slowly while coming out, walk back and change. Alternate. Now my left knee is over my right foot, okay, and the otherwise on the other side. Walk forward, keeping your back straight and relax. The moment you do this, it really opens up your hips a bit. If you are someone with tight hips, you will immediately realize the pull in your hips. Yes? As I said earlier, mentioned earlier, stay there for 6 breaths. Breathe easy. And very slowly walk back, come out. Now moving on to the another hip opener over here is Bhadrasana. Yeah, Bhadrasana is everyone's favorite. So what you do is stick your palms, your foot soles to each other and try getting it close to your body. Interlock your fingers, lift your feet up and place your fingers below your feet. Over here you will lift your chest and flap your knees. Flap your knees. Now while you are doing this, you will take your attention to the side of your hips. If you are someone with tight hips, you will immediately start feeling the burn in the side of your hips. Yes? After some time, once you are comfortable with flapping, you can increase the speed over here. But try to breathe easy. Yes? Flapping of your knees in Bhadrasana or the butterfly posture as it is very commonly known. You will flap for around say 30 seconds to 1 minute, or if you are someone who has really tight hips, can go on for even 1 minute to 2 minutes. Yes? It will immediately make you feel in the side of your hips. Alright, I think we are good to go now. Okay. Now, moving on, we worked for our hips, for our spine, for your thighs. Remember, those who with tight thighs will have to work a little bit harder, as this asana, the pigeon pose that we will be doing, mainly involves your thigh muscles. Yes? So, we will be practicing Bhujangasana for now. The full expression of Bhujangasana. I will lie down on my stomach. Place your palms close to your chest. Toes are pointing outside. Forehead on the head. Now, as you inhale, you will slowly push up and try to straighten your elbows. Alright. Now, if you are a beginner, you could softly bend your elbows and be here. That's also fine. In case if you are able to do this, stay here and drop your head up. Very slowly, as when you start coming down, bend your elbows and then slowly lower your head. We repeat this one more time. Toes are outside, palms are firmly placed below the chest. Roll your shoulders, elbows close to each other. And inhaling, push up, straighten your elbows. Now make sure that your elbows are coming towards you and you are not squeezing your neck like this. Your shoulders are away from your ears. Yes, your shoulders are away from your ears. You might feel a bit compression in your lower back, but that's fine. And stay there. Feel an opening in your chest. Very slowly when you wish to come down, bend your elbows and lower your chest down. Now, from here we'll move into the dynamic stretch of upward dog to downward dog. Okay. Now, first we push to downward dog, the Adho Mukha Svanasana. Alright. This is downward dog. You will try and press your palms over here. Move inside as much as you can and slowly move forward, look up, upward dog. Very similar to what we did right now. Upward dog. There. Push behind, downward dog. Again, come up. Urdhva Svanasana and Adho Mukha Svanasana. A couple of times. One last time. Inhaling, come up. Exhaling, go down. So we are warming our spine over here. And then slowly drop your feet on the floor. Now, we are almost set to move towards the final posture of Ekpada Rajkapotasana. Now, before you get into it, I will be showing you 3 variations, the beginner variation, the intermediate and the final one. You choose according to your body type. Yes? The first one. Now, you will first come in a downward dog position. Place your right leg, or I will place my right leg, you can choose whichever you want to. Yes? Drop your right leg in the front. Yes? And you will push your foot inside towards you. Now while you are here, you will make sure that both your knees are away from each other. Now in case if you cannot stretch your leg at the back like this, or if you are someone who is over here or over here, okay, that's absolutely fine. We all have to start from somewhere, right? So that's okay, you will come down gradually with practice. Now what you do is consciously push this area down and stretch your leg at the back. Alright, the first variation of Ekpada Rajkapotasana or the pigeon pose. Slowly you will start taking your hands at the back, lift your chest and stay here. Yes, if you are comfortable over here or if you feel this is too much for you, you could gently place your elbows at your knee, interlock your fingers, place your head on your fingers, on your palms. Stay there. Or if you feel this is very easy for you and you are not feeling the stretch, you will slowly extend your arms and move forward. Stay here and then slowly coming out. Be careful while you come out of the posture too. Now once you've done with right side, make sure with each side, make sure you move into downward dog after every practice. Yes, it's very important to stretch or de-stress your muscles. So now I'll be showing it to you from the left side. So again, downward dog. Get your other leg in the front. I use my right leg first, so I'll be getting my left leg in the front. Push your foot inside towards you. Again, I will try and push this hip towards the floor. As I mentioned, you might be someone who is here, but tendency is you will drop. We are not sitting comfortably on any one side. We are not sitting on our hip. You will find your center, and the leg which is at the back, the thigh will face the floor. Will face the floor. Initially, you might be over here. That is also good. Okay. Now you will start walking back. Stay there. This is the most beginner variation. And look up. As I mentioned earlier, otherwise you could drop your elbows close to your knees, interlock your fingers and drop your head. Once you're done, you could either extend your arms and choose to stay for long in this posture. Slowly as you come up, push the floor away from you and push into downward dog once again. Now, from here, we'll move on to the second variation. So, I get my right leg in the front. The intermediate variation. Now, again, over here you will try and stretch your leg at the back. Push your hip towards the floor. You should be able to feel that rotation of your hip. You're not resting on the side of your hip. You will try and push this area towards the floor. Alright? Now, what you do is the leg which is stretched at the back, you will fold that leg. Okay, that is why I said it involves a lot of using your thigh muscles. Now, if possible for you, same hand, same leg. If my left leg is stretched, I will use my left hand and hold my big toe. Okay. If you are comfortable over here, you will slowly bring your heel towards your hip. Okay, now this is simple. So what you will do is inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. A couple of times we are warming up our thigh muscles. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and hold the last one for around 6 breaths. Now make sure that you choose your variation very safely. In case if you are doing the beginner variation, try that for 1 week at least and then move on to the second one. Yes, slowly. Now you will drop your leg first, place your hand on the floor and move into downward dog. So you stretch the leg well. Now I'll be showing you the same variation but on the opposite side. So I get my left leg front, drop my knee, push my foot inside towards my groin, check my hips, both my hips being squared. Squaring hips is, your hips are not tilted. This is a tilt hip and this is how you square your hip. Okay. Now you will fold this leg. Remember, same leg, same hand. I folded my right leg. So with my right hand, I hold my big toe. Now, if you feel that you are getting enough stretch by holding this, you can stay here, no issues. Yes, but if you feel that you can try and bring this leg closer to your hip, then move forward. So here you will inhale, release, exhale, back. Inhale, release, exhale, back. Inhale, release, exhale, back. Open and back. Now this time you will stay here for 6 breaths. Now be easy. Make sure you are not tilting. If you any moment you feel if you are tilting, you will choose your center and come back to the center. Once you want to come out, you will slowly stretch your leg, release your leg and down. Now again, downward dog. Every time you try this, insert one downward dog in between. Now the third variation. So I will drop my right leg, the final posture of the Ekpad Rajkapotasana. Now over here, you will first try and begin with the second variation where we did. Yes, so you are holding your big toe with your first 2 fingers. Now how you are holding is from the outside, from the back of your body. You are not holding it from this side. So you're holding it from the side of your big toe with your first two fingers, and what you do is bring your elbow close to your body, rotate your arm and up. Stay there. Slowly. First you will bring your neck up, drop your leg and then push down. Stay here for a while. These are intense postures, so you need to take a couple of breaks in between. Push back in downward dog. Now I'll be showing it to you the same thing other side. Drop my left leg in the front. Place my hip on the floor. Push your heel inside. Remember, try to bring your hip close to the floor. Alright? Close to the floor wherever you are. And now fold your leg. Same leg, same hand. Once you are here, as I mentioned, you will hold your leg from the side of your big toe. So your big toe is outside, so I will hold it from the outside, not from here. Okay, this will make it more difficult. So hold it from the outside with your first two fingers. Oops. Okay. And you will bring it close to your heel, close to your butt. Get your elbow close to your body. Rotate your elbow. Push your head at the back. Stay there. Try to go as much behind as you can. Once you wish to come out, drop your elbow, drop your feet and slowly down. Stay there. Very carefully. Move into downward dog one more time. Slowly drop your hips, drop your knees and come back into a sitting posture. Now, we need to counter some stretches. These were deep hip opening postures. So we need to counter these stretches by giving some opposite stretches to your body. So what you will do is hug yourself over here. Try to hold the upper spine like this from this side, and you will just look to the other side, move to one side. So you need to, because this area is the area where we worked the most. Okay, so you will hug yourself like that for a couple of times and de-stress or unwind. Slowly release. Alright, so these were a few techniques that will help you achieve this posture. Remember, as I mentioned, I'm purposely continuously repeating this, that you need to follow a proper sequence. First is warm-ups, first is Surya Namaskar, then these warm-up drills and then these postures. I suggest the same to my students. Never get into an advanced posture directly. Remember, ultimately it's the journey towards the process and not the final destination, not the final posture. So try these, be very safe, do the counter stretches as well. And in case if this was the only thing, this was the last thing that you did, remember to get into Shavasana also. Remember, because that is the same energy that you will be carrying on throughout the day. So Shavasana is also must after advanced practices. Practice these, let me know how it goes. Be safe, write to me in the comment section what is it. If you've liked my video, show me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell icon, so as I upload a video you get the notification of it. I will see you next week. Thank you. Namaste.